Welcome to this lecture. So from next lecture onward we will start our hacking course, but before that we need to install two machines. And first one here will be Kali Linux, and the next one will be our testing machine, which will be Windows 10. So Kali Linux is a one type of Linux software, or basically a Linux operating system where you will have all the modules and application pre-installed so that we did not have to configure it manually. So it is very important machine where you can just run your code directly, you can just make the payload, you can run your handler in order to listen for that communication, and you can do a lot of stuff with the Kali Linux. We'll test each of these applications that is available in the Kali Linux. Obviously not all, but the main important part which will be essential for the hackers. So we'll just learn every bit of detail in the upcoming lecture with the help of Kali Linux, which will be our running server, running processes, or basically the machine where we'll run our code, and basically we'll test that in the testing machine, and the testing machine will be our Windows 10. So before that we have this machine which is obviously my main machine. So I have here that is Windows 10, but I don't want to just run every malware or basically every backdoor in my Windows 10 because I don't want to affect my original machine. So this is your machine. So basically it can be your original machine, you can have it Mac as a Mac machine, or you can have the Linux or Windows. So first of all what you need to do is make sure that this machine is safe, because we don't want to do anything with this machine. So in order to make that another computer installed on the same computer, and if you install any machines or basically any application, this won't get affected, we have this virtual box. So what this virtual box is, basically you have the computer installed inside the computer. So we have this main machine, and inside this main machine you can see a lot of operating system is downloaded and run. So in this case I have this Kali Linux running and MS Windows 10 running, and you can see right here inside this we have running this Kali Linux, and you can run this Kali Linux over here, and the next one I have here is MS 10. So we have this Windows 10 and the Kali Linux inside this my main computer. So in order to make sure that our main machine is not affected with any installation or running any program, you will use this virtual box. So first of all download that virtual box and install it properly. So it is a simple process, and I'm not going to do it because it is a very simple. You can just download according to your operating system. If it is for Mac, just download for Mac, and if it is in the Windows, just download for the Windows and just unzip it and do everything that is required to install any program. So it is pretty much a simple process. So next thing what you need to do is install the machines. So first machine that we want to install is Kali Linux. So I'll just go to the browser, and this is the Kali original documentation page, and you can see here is a download section. You can simply go to the download Kali machine, and you'll just go here in the download section. You'll just click on this download Kali Linux, and you will just get these images over here. And I highly suggest you not to download this light version, because this does not give all the application that we are using in this course. So you have to give extra time if you just download this one, because you have to download every packages manually. So that will just cost you a more time and more effort than before. So I'll just highly suggest you download this version, which is Kali Linux 64-bit. You can go with the torrent, or you can go with this HTTP link and install it. Basically what this give is a ISO image. So you will just have the ISO image, and after that you will just see that there will be some ISO image right here. So let me just show you one here. So you will have something like this. So this is the ISO image. So if I just open the properties, you will see this is the ISO image right here, disk image file. So you will just get this file while you download this from the Kali Linux, and make sure you just go with this Kali Linux 64-bit or Kali Linux 32-bit, but don't go with this light version. So we have downloaded now the Kali Linux image, which will be our server machine, or where we'll just write some code or use the application, and the testing machine will be our Windows 10. So just go to this website, that is developer.microsoft.com. you'll just get this website where you can download the virtual machine. So you could wonder that we can also download directly the Windows 10. So why not to download that? So it is also a good idea to download Windows 10, but that requires the installation process. So you have to go through entire installation process if you download that file. But if you download this virtual machine, you don't need to go through that installation process. So it will just directly open you the machine on your virtual box. So next thing what you need to do is just go over here that is saying MS Edge on Windows 10 and select the platform, and our platform is VirtualBox. So let's select download zip, unzip that file. You'll just get this file saying open virtual, and it is file over here, and you could see this is OVA file. So this will be your open virtualization format form, or basically it will be archive, and we have to now just install that in the VirtualBox. So first thing, or basically what you need to do first is install the Kali Linux. So open your virtual machine. This should be empty for you because you will be at the first step of installation, but I have already installed so much of machine over here. So let me create new over here, and if I go to here and I'll just say Kali new, you can also give the name as Kali, and the Linux is the version or a type basically, and the version I want to here is Debian 64-bit, and click next and just allocate the memory, or basically it is for the RAM, and let me say I want to give 4 GB RAM would be enough, even 2 GB would be enough. So let's click next and create, and I want VirtualBox disk image, click next and dynamically allocated, next, and this is the file size that we want to give. So just make sure it is greater than 20 GB because we have to install so much of applications and new packages. So make sure it is around maybe 30, so that would be fine. If you just make sure it is around 30, let's create now. And now we have this Kali Linux, or basically Kali new. So next thing what you need to go do is go to the setting, and on the system go to the processor and make sure we have this processor. Let me say I want the 4th processor to make sure that it does not lag, and go to the storage now, and here we have this empty that is showing the disks. Let's click on that, and now let's boot that. So I'll just say choose virtual, and we'll just go to here that is unzip, and we have this Kali Linux right here. So let's click that, and you will just see that we have now Kali Linux. Let's press OK, and now we'll just have this Kali new. So next thing what you need to do is simply press on this start and let it give some time. So after you just grab that, it will just open this VirtualBox, and now it's time to install this Kali. So go to the install over here. Let's please press enter and let it give a time to load and everything, and let's wait for some time. So before that, I want also to install. Okay, it has already come up. So let me press English and United States, American English, and this will just load some of the additional components. Let's wait for some time. So in the meantime, you can also do something, that is install this MS Edge. So this has not the same process as to install the Kali Linux. You don't need to create anything new. You can simply go over here and just double click. So if I just double click, then okay, this is basically I have already installed this version, so it has given me error, but in your case it will give something like this information. So you could see the information right here that is saying that you have the name over there, you have the guest OS type, CPU you want to allocate, the RAM you want to allocate, and DVD sound card and everything. That is information over here. And let's press only on the import. Now if I press import, it is going to take some time to import that, and you will just get over here. So before that, let's go to our Kali version, and let's see, we have right here. So in the Kali version, you can clearly see now it has asked to write the host name. So why I just did this, because we are just installing 2 machines at the same time. So it is very easy to install this Windows 10, because you can simply click, that is just press over here, and it is going to import the setting. But in the case of Kali, it is not possible. You have to do everything manually. So I have shown you over here So only the process in the Windows 10 is basically only importing, so there is nothing to worry about. But in the Kali, let's go over here and click the host name. So this will be host name, and I'm just sticking with the Kali. And domain name, let me say empty. And now password. So it is very important, because whenever you want to log in for the first time, it is also going to ask your root password. So make sure you just remember that password every time you just enter to the Kali machine. So let me hit my password. Let's hit enter. It is going to give us the new prompt to re-enter the password, the same password. And let's hit enter one more time, and now it is going to set up us clock. So let me say Eastern, and now let's wait for some time again, and it is going to load an additional configuration for us. So, and now it has set up the disk partition, and we have also already partitioned the disk. That should be around 34 GB, or make sure that it is greater than 30 GB, because we need to install so much of application manually also in the upcoming lecture. So I'll just stick with this guided version, and let's enter here, and I'll just say all file, and now I'll just finish the partitioning and write changes to disk. And I'll just say yes, I want to change, or basically write changes to disk. And now it has partitioned the formatting or do something like that. And now it is installing the system. So now it will install, and you could see we are just over here, that is importing for our MS10. So it will just import. It is nothing over here. It will just take some time, maybe around 15 minutes, and it will just do something that is install everything over here. So next thing what you need to do after you install that, because I have already done it, so I am not doing here, because you could see it has blocked everything for us. So after you just install maybe for the Windows 10, so I'm just going to show you for the Kali Linux. But after you install that version, you will get something like this. It will show something that is MS Edge Windows 10. Just make sure you don't cancel that process. It will just take around 15 minutes, and you will just get over here saying MS Edge Windows 10 and something like this. And after that, what you need to do is go to the settings, and you will see in the storage, or basically not in storage, it will be in the system. You will just get this as base memory, and you can just change it. Make sure that processor is around 2, because we want nearly some faster processing while in the Linux and obviously in the Windows 2. So make sure it is around 2, and let's press OK. And after now, what you need to do is simply press on this message and just press here. So in your case it will be start, in my case it is so if I press over here, it is going to give us this Windows 10. So you could see this is same Windows 10, and you can do all of this stuff over here. So you can test every bit of code, your payload or your hacking skill in this Windows 10 without affecting our main window. So in your case it can be your Mac or your main Linux machine, but my case it is Windows, and inside Windows we have this Windows, which will just be our testing machine, and we'll just test all of the code that we learn in the upcoming lecture in this Windows machine. So make sure that you install this Windows machine first, and you could see now we have installing this Kali Linux over here. So I'll just pause here and I'll just take you to the good stuff. So now after you just install or complete with the installation, it will just reboot, and just press now Kali Linux, because we want the Kali Linux, and just press so. It will first ask you for the password. So make sure you just remember the password, the same password that we use while installing the system. So you had set that password, and just remember that password and just press here, and you will just get this Kali Linux. So you could see we have this complete Kali Linux. You can see the interfaces over here. It is showing us an application, a bunch of application is over here. You can see the favorites and everything. We'll just learn about this in detail in the upcoming lecture. In the first section, we'll just learn about the Linux and how this Kali Linux can be used in the hacking. and you can see the bunch of application. If I just go to this show application tab, it is going to give us this information saying if you want to search something. If I say yes, I want to search Nmap, which is the application over here, and if I just press over here, it is going to give us this application, and so you can just navigate through it. We'll see every bit of detail in the upcoming lecture about the directories, about the command of this Kali Linux, but for now you can just tour around this interface. You can see you have these settings over here, and here is a Bluetooth, Wi-Fi connections, and if you just have the external USB, make sure you connect that. It will just give access to your Wi-Fi, and now you can see in this network or everything, so make sure you have now, that is, let me just open here and let me just press ifconfig. So in this case you could see that it is WLAN 0 mode, so that means it is in monitor mode. So I'll just talk about the monitor and manage mode in the upcoming lecture, where we'll just attack some machines Wi-Fi network. So basically we'll just talk that in the upcoming lecture, but for now you can see the two interfaces, Ethio 0 and WLAN 0 mode. So make sure first I'll just do something over here, that is to stop this WLAN 0 mode, so that we'll just get this Wi-Fi connection. So now if I just say ifconfig, then we'll see now. Okay, I'll just do something more now, and that is WLAN 0 and up. Now if I say ifconfig, it is going to give us this WLAN 0, and it is obviously not connected to internet because this has no IP address, but make sure you have either this Ethio 0 or WLAN 0 in order to get internet access on this Firefox. So we'll just learn about that. So first of all, if I just go to the Kali, it is going to give us some information, that means it is connected to internet. So you can just update the package and do everything in the Kali Linux. We'll just learn that in the upcoming lecture, but for now you can clearly see we have set up this machine where you can just run your code and basically see if that code works or not. And next machine we have is obviously our Windows 10, and we have shown in the Windows 10 you have this Microsoft Edge is a browser. And if I just go over here and let's see if we can run any of these basically our internet or not. So you can see obviously we can run because all of the news has been rendered out over here. That means we can just get the internet connection. So I'll say what is my IP, then you will see that the IP address will be just rendered over here. So this is my public IP addresses, and you could see this machine has the internet access too. So now if you want to just give the file, basically if you want to get the internet access, what we can do is the next one is to have the external USB. So you can just get one USB, so you can buy online and just get that external USB card. You enter that USB card and get access to that USB by these devices and go to the USB. In my case I have this USB over here, and just press that and you will just get that wireless adapter, which will be, you can clearly see if I say ifconfig, it is going to be over here WLAN 0. But if you do not enter that USB adapter, it's fine because you will have anyway the internet connection with this wired connection, which is Ethio 0, and the wireless connection will be WLAN 0. So what you need to do is, if you want to see the Wi-Fi hacking technique, you can have that USB adapter and you can install that manually. So next thing what you need to do is, basically we have now set up the two machines, so that's not worry for us. So you have this MS Edge over here which is running. So now if I want to maybe saw that something, let's go over here and let's see what we can do. So this is all the file and directory that we'll learn in the upcoming lecture. So no need to tell over here in this lecture, because in this lecture I want to only show you how this virtual box work and to install some of the machines over here. So we just did something, that is install the Kali Linux, which will be our server, or basically where we'll just run the application. We'll just see how code works, or basically making a payload will be with this Kali Linux. And there is MS Edge, which is our Windows 10, where we'll just run our machine. And basically you can see the new windows are basically the next windows I have done here or installed over here. And now if I just start, this is my original window. So this is same as with this windows. So what I'm telling is basically we have installed this MS Edge from the virtual box. So if I just go over here, it was downloaded by for the virtual machines. So you do not need to install it manually. In the case of MS Edge, you can simply import it and install it, and basically you can run directly. But if you just download maybe the version that is of Windows 10, so actual Windows 10, then it is going to give us the installation procedure. It will take some time to install it, but that's fine. You can also use this Windows. So if I just run this, it is a normal Windows that is similar to my original window, but that is not same as MSH, because MSH does not require the installation process. You can simply import it and run it, which is perfect for our virtual machines. So that will be wrap for this lecture. We just installed two machines, and that is one the server and the client. We'll just start hacking processes using the Kali machine and Windows machine in the upcoming lecture. See you in the next one.